Hey, ever want to learn how to make cool muzzle flashes without firing a real gun? Well, here's how.
Good. Cut.
No? Stupid.
That was good.
We used a NERF gun, actually. There's a lot of tutorials online about how to make props look more realistic. We basically just painted it black and applied silver on the edges to make it look a little more worn and beaten up.
As for how to make muzzle flashes, there's plenty of YouTube videos out there that we reference. Freddie W., Corridor Digital, Andrew Kramer, there's plenty out there to pick from. Just find what works for you.
Tell me when you're recording.
Oh, we're recording right now.
Oh, okay, alright. To relight our actors, though, this is how we did it. Fuck!
To relight our actor, we first created a solid. We then adjusted its opacity to about 20 to 30% and masked it out so it would apply to only the areas we wanted. We also set the blend mode to classic color dodge. You can try add or other things, but we found that worked best for us. Then we just had to duplicate it and apply it to every frame where muzzle flash occurred.
For the bullet hits, just track the shot. Don't forget to turn motion blur on for your composited shots, especially if you're using a slow shutter speed, or if the camera is moving a lot.
For most of the shots showing shells ejecting from the gun, we used assets from the Action Essentials 2 kit from Video Copilot. But for shot 3, where you see shells bouncing around and staying in frame, we used Blender. Basically, we just had to model a shell, attach it to a particle emitter, so it would look like shells were ejecting from the gun. All we had to do was animate the position of the camera and the position of the particle emitter to match the gun in the frame. Once that was done, we set up our materials, our lighting, and rendered out our shells on a separate pass. We then brought these into After Effects and adjusted the brightness and contrast until they matched our scene. As a bonus, we include a link to the raw camera footage we used in the video, so you can try it out for yourself. We'll put a link here and down below. If you want to try it out, give it a shot. You can probably do an even better job than us. Here's some tips to help make your work a little easier in post. Number 1, when you're shooting, make sure you take your camera's white balance setting off of auto. Otherwise, when you're shooting, your color temperature is going to change between shots, and it might even change during the shot. So just take it off auto and put it on a different preset, like daylight or cloudy or whatever's going to match your shot best, and then you can just tweak it in post. 2, if you're importing your footage into After Effects as an image sequence, you're going to want to make sure you click on the Interpret Footage properties. After Effects is going to import that stuff as 30 frames per second by default. It doesn't matter if your sequence is set up at 24 or 30 or 60, it doesn't matter what it is, After Effects is going to read it as 30 frames per second. So, make sure you right click on your footage in your project folder After Effects and set it to interpret footage as 23.976 or whatever it is your final output is going to be. Otherwise, if you start working on it, you're going to end up doing a whole lot of work for nothing. So, important tip to remember. And 3, we didn't do it for this one, but if you have a green screen handy, it'll make your shot a lot easier if you have footage you're compositing between your actor and your background or whatever. It'll save you having to mask out stuff. In this shot here, where we have John shooting against the wall, and we added in the muzzle flash, and that's between John and the background. It would have ended up being a lot cleaner if we'd had a green screen, but we didn't. You can get a green screen for pretty cheap. You can make one yourself. You can rent one from some places like borrowlenses.com. You can rent a green screen for 3 days for like $8. But keep in mind, anything you rent from somewhere, you're gonna have to pay for shipping and handling too. So, you have to decide, is it worth it or not? Thank you for watching. We hope this video was helpful. If you have any comments or questions or anything you'd like to say, just feel free to post in the comments. If you have anything horrible you'd like to say, post that as well. We'll take anything. And if you like any of our videos, consider subscribing. We have a lot more stuff we're doing this summer, and I promise it'll be a lot better than this.